Hey everyone, welcome to Kpop Light, where we fangirl responsibly. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Lindsay. Today we're back for episode 2, and we're going to dive into our fangirl tendencies. We're going to share all of the things we've been fangirls of throughout our lives that primed and prepped us to be K-pop stans.
But first, we're going to dive into a segment we like to call These Days, which is just a time to talk about things that we're loving, songs that we're listening to, and anything we've been obsessed with these days. So, Lindsay, why don't you kick us off? What are you into these days?
Great question. I've been dying to discuss this, which I already did text Rachel about this many times this weekend, but I watched a new show. Well, new show to me, called The Recruit. And season 2 just came out, and I think that's why it was served to me on my Netflix. I didn't even know about the show.
Yeah, what's it? Give everybody an overview. What's it about?
So, The Recruit is about a new recruit at the CIA. And that character is played by Noah Centineo, who I refer to as Noah Scented Mayo, if anyone else would also like to call him that. So Mr. Noah Scented Mayo is this new recruit at the CIA, and he's a lawyer. So he's in the law department, and obviously he gets up to shenanigans pretty quick. He's on the case, he's traveling the world, fighting crime, figuring stuff out. And it's a pretty action-packed, intense storyline, but his character is so fun. And the personality of the character just has comic relief and is just an enjoyable character. So I love that, because previously I think I've only seen Noah Centineo in teen movies, and he kind of gave me the ick a little bit. Sorry, Noah, but he has fully won me over. I'm so invested in him. He is a great actor in this show, and the show is so good. And season 2 was even better because it takes place in South Korea. Yes.
Yes, it does.
The CIA.
They knew what they were doing with that.
No, they 100% know what they're doing with that. So they go to South Korea, and they're working in tandem with the NIS, which is the South Korean version of the CIA. So Noah Centinmeo's character is working closely with a Korean agent at the NIS, who is played by Tae Yo, who is the actor in Past Lives, the very popular recent Korean movie. And he's a king, absolutely obsessed with him. And so it's just fun to see places in Seoul, and they're talking about the food, and they're talking about people. And there's another character from the CIA who is just a crazy, funny man, and he is a K-pop stan. And they make that clear because I will share a screenshot of this on our Instagram, but in a scene, he is wearing a shirt that reads, "Keep calm and listen to K-pop," with a Korean heart on it. And in another scene, basically in exchange for information, he demands $50,000 alongside VIP tickets for the BTS reunion tour. That was his demand in order to do something.
Incredible.
And so then the Korean agent goes back to his boss and is like, he needs BTS VIP tickets for the reunion tour. He's an army. And so the fact that the show put that in, they definitely knew what they were doing.
That's so funny.
I really enjoyed it.
I know. I'm upset at my Netflix for not recommending this to me. Sounds like something I would love. And so I'm like, why was this not recommended to me years ago? And then also now, it literally hasn't ever come up. And I'm like, this is exactly what I want to see.
I'm really excited for you to watch it.
I will be diving in this week and weekend.
Thank you.
So
I, of course,
excited.
watched it in about one night. So over the weekend, I was working on this craft project, and I wanted to just put something on casually in the background. And I randomly chose this because I hadn't heard of it. And then it kind of fully developed me. That's not the word. Enveloped me. So anyways, anything you have been into these days?
Yes, I'm so excited to share what I've been obsessed with this week. So earlier in the week, I saw this Instagram reel, and it was Jackson Wang and this other random guy who I don't know who it is, but he looks like some workout person because he's like ripped.
He's like beefed up.
Yes, and they are filming a video, and it's Jackson's favorite smoothie recipe that he drinks all the time. And so I was just scrolling through my feed, and this came up, and I watched it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so good. So I made it, and it is so delicious and so healthy. And the recipe is cabbage, spinach, broccoli, grapes, bananas.
Whoa. Broccoli, hun. I've never seen that in a smoothie.
I know. Broccoli, grapes, bananas, apples, oranges, and honey. And I made it pretty much exactly the same except for cabbage and grapes because I didn't have those. But everything else I had, and I made it, and it is delicious, and it's so good for you. And I guess Jackson drinks this every day or something. Like, it's his favorite recipe, and we can share it on our Instagram so everyone else can try it. But it's so good.
I have to try this. If it gives me like the skin of him or the voice of him or just kind of the aura of him, that would be a great blessing to my life.
If you drink this smoothie, you will become like Jackson Wang. So
Mr. J Dubs.
J Dubs. Yeah, it's delicious. I've been drinking it every day, so big fan.
I need a Jackson Wang like cookbook.
I guess the first version of his smoothie had chicken in it because this video, I know this video, like he holds up a bowl of chicken and was like, no chicken this time, and like puts it to the side.
Oh my
gosh,
I'm obsessed with him.
Disgusting.
I feel like I would trust his health tips like over anyone in the K-pop industry though. I don't know why, but I would blindly follow him.
He seems very healthy and
yes,
a man of strong stature. So
I just trust everything he says and does. That's incredible. I can't wait to try that.
Any other things for these days for you?
I was going to give an update kind of off of last episode where you talked about GOT7 and Python. And of course, as always, I'm late to the party, but you shared with me and you said you would really like it. You need to listen. And you were in fact correct. Python, I think, might end up on my Spotify Wrapped. Like that is a song
you like it that much?
It really touches my soul in a deep way. I really love that song. And I've since found out that Bam Bam wrote it, which is even more fun.
That.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's super catchy. And did you watch all the shows and everything?
Yes, I did. I did. I liked the like dark black concept the best. And
Bam Bam was wearing a really cool outfit in that one. Like
like
a blanket
strap
draped over him.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I did not like that one where he has like 8 t-shirts on him. The outfit makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. We got to post a photo of that too. I actually watched the behind the scenes jacket shoot or whatever it's called on their YouTube. And he was talking about the outfit, and he was like pulling up all the different shirts, and he was like, I have this shirt, this shirt, this shirt, this shirt.
Oh my gosh,
and
that's got to be hot.
But Bam Bam does seem like one of those people that is just going to always wear something really chaotic and weird. Like he's going to go for it.
I think his style is cool. Like every time that
it is, but it's more out there. Jackson's like very sleek. He's like style fashion guy.
Yeah.
Like he said in the video, he designed his own outfit and stuff, and I think he has a fashion line. Where Bam Bam's gonna be more like kind of avant-garde, if you will.
Yeah. No, I did like all their outfits. Like everything was super baggy. Like the pants super baggy, baggy jackets. It was like, okay, I'm liking this like cool streetwear fashion show vibe.
Yeah, they did it right, and that song is just a banger. I was on a walk before this, and I like am just going in step with the music, like without even thinking. And I'm like thinking of the part where they like put the guns up and drop down in the chorus. Oh my gosh, it hits so hard. And the other thing I was listening to on my walk before this was a new song I randomly found called I Hate Fruits by NCT Dream. And that song is really hitting my soul in a certain way as well.
It's so good. I have a friend who hates fruit, who does not like K-pop whatsoever, and I sent it to her and said, I found the perfect K-pop song for you. And she thought it was so funny.
What a perfect way to get someone into K-pop. A song that perfectly suits them. Also, who doesn't like fruits? That's psychotic. No fruits? Huh?
No fruits. No, she hates all fruit.
That's wild. But anyway, that's my song rec of the week, if anyone wants a new song. It came out in November, but
it's very good.
Really like that song. Yeah. What about you? Anything else?
Yes, my last one is Robert Pattinson and his press tour for his new movie that's coming out. And I forget the full name, but it's Mickey something. Okay. And it's directed by the same director that did Parasite. So the famous Korean director, I forget his name. But it's supposed to be a really good movie, and Robert Pattinson stars in it. And he's been in Korea doing all this press for the movie. And I think it is the most genius press tour that anyone has ever done, because he's just doing fun stuff. He's getting his color analysis. He's eating I don't know if you saw that.
No, I have to go look at these.
Yeah, he's getting his color done. He is eating at local Korean restaurants, trying spicy food. He is doing cute little hearts with the director.
Yes.
And he looks like he is having the time of his life.
That's so adorable.
Because
that's so
happy.
Opposite of what I picture his demeanor to be. You know?
I know. You imagine him kind of serious, and I remember the press that he used to do for Twilight, where he was just miserable and having the worst time. He looks like a little boy having the best day of his life, and every single video that has come out is so fun. And I'm this is what they should do. People who are promoting in different countries should just do these fun, not awkward interviews where they're doing stuff. They're getting their color done. They're eating at a local restaurant. They're doing some local experience. It's just been so fun to watch. And I just feel we'll talk about this later, but I feel my little worlds are colliding, because it's I used to love Twilight and Robert Pattinson, and now he's in Korea doing all these fun things. And
I know your heart's
just
gonna
been
explode.
Very fun to watch. Yes, yes, it's been so fun.
I love watching anyone do Korean promotions, because it's so funny seeing them do the Korean heart poses and stuff whenever there's a movie that they're promoting. It's so funny to see American actors get into the Korean culture and kind of do the types of promotion that Korean actors do.
Yeah, it was very well done, and I feel it's just blowing up on social media. Everyone's just loving it.
Yeah, because it's so fun to see Robert in that dynamic too. Because I feel like I said, that doesn't seem like his normal day to day. So we're eating up him doing these cute, fun things, getting more content from him. All right, are we ready to dive into the history of our fangirl tendencies?
Yes.
I'm dying to hear about all of
excited.
Yours. I feel like I'm going to learn so much about you.
I know. I feel we've talked about this a little bit here and there, but we have never done the deep dive. So
no, I think some of mine are going to surprise you.
Oh.
Essentially, we're just going to share about, I feel most of them are people or musicians that we've been obsessed with throughout our lives, but some are more obscure. Maybe we have a movie, maybe we have a sport, maybe we have this and that. I also want to just disclaim, I'm a fangirl of so many things, but my ones that I'm going to share today are ones that were long-standing, very maybe more intense, and ones that I actively seeked out. I'm going to the concerts. I'm kind of
they were significant. They stuck around for a while. Yeah. Because I'm with you. I feel I've been obsessed with so many different things that have come and go so quickly. So these are the most important.
Yeah, the fundamental ones that have crafted my personality and where I am today and led me to K-pop. Because I was thinking I love Timothée Chalamet, but he doesn't make my fangirl list, you know? I also think it's harder to, and I'm curious if you agree with me on this, it's harder to fangirl actors, because they just come out with a movie once a year and maybe some promotions. Yeah,
they're kind of off the radar. They're not actively interacting with the fans.
No.
They're not giving you music performances. They're just kind of popping up here and there. So
yeah, and in music, I can go to a concert. I can't like go just see Timothée Chalamet somewhere.
That's a good point.
I was thinking of athletes too. Like if you love like a basketball player, you can go watch them play. They play like 80 games a year. Where actors are just kind of obscure in a way.
Yeah. Except for, I guess, in Asia, they do those like fan meets and stuff.
Yes, that is a whole other topic we need to get into.
Which we can do a whole episode on that. But
that's so intriguing to me, the fan meets, yeah.
Yeah. So if they do that, like if you're in a foreign country, but they definitely don't have anything like that here.
No.
Like the actors are just kind of in their own world, I feel like.
I would love to see Timothée Chalamet on a tour. Like
honestly, he would be so entertaining.
He
like
would
some
be.
actors would not, like it wouldn't be a vibe, but I would love to go to a Timothée Chalamet fan meet.
He's just like in this arena, just oh my gosh,
just standing up there alone, like chit-chatting.
Yes.
Just
well, and
yapping.
he loves to sing and dance, so he could do Little Timmy Tim. He could do some Bob Dylan songs from his recent film. Anyway, I didn't include Timothy on my list, and now I'm chatting about him forever, but love him to death. So do you want to start us off?
Sure.
Maybe tell us about your first fangirl experience.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this counts as fangirl, but the first thing that I was obsessed with was Harry Potter, and I was really young. I mean, it came out before I was able to read it, I think, but I think I was in like maybe third grade when I got really into it, and it lasted so long. Like I was a huge Potterhead. I ended up reading the entire series, so all 7 books, 11 times through.
Wow. That's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours. And I remember being a little kid, like in elementary school, and staying up super late. Like my parents would put me to bed. I would go to bed and then like bring the covers over my head and turn my little light on and just read until super, super late. And I was just obsessed with it. When the movies started coming out, like the later ones, I would go to midnight premieres and I wouldn't dress up. I drew a line. But
you're not a cosplay girl.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved Harry Potter, and I like probably still to this day would be the best Harry Potter trivia night person to bring, because I still know literally everything about it. It's just one of my favorite things. So I still love watching the movies like during the fall. I just think it's like cozy, put on the movies. So that was the first thing that I was like obsessed with. But again, I wouldn't call it necessarily a fangirl, but that was again priming me for what was to come.
Yeah, where you're living, breathing something and just love it so much. You can't contain yourself.
For sure.
And it was the books and the movies, like all encompassing.
Oh yeah, everything. Huge fan. Loved it. But I would say the first thing that I actually was a fangirl of was the Jonas Brothers. And
Joe Bros.
I remember me and my friend went to their concert, and I think I was 10, either 10 or 11 maybe. And me and my best friend at the time went to, Lighty, you know Lighty.
Yeah.
We went to the concert, and it was so fun. And I need to find the photos because we went all out. Like, oh my gosh, we got like t-shirts and we got matching flip-flops and matching sunglasses. And this was back in the day when elementary school, middle schoolers had an awkward stage, and we were both very much so in the awkward stage. So the photos are so funny.
But you thought the Joe Bros were going to see you and fall in love with you from the stage.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
So when we were in 5th grade, we had a computer class. And in computer class, we had to build a website. Very obviously like rudimentary, just trying to get you comfortable with like working on a computer. But we built a website. Everyone had to pick a topic. And I, of course, chose the Jonas Brothers. And it was literally a fan page. Like I had every bit of information that you could ever want to know on the Jonas Brothers. Like how much each of them weighed, like what each of them was allergic to. Literally every little
Is that
detail
still up and
of their
running?
lives. I don't even know how you would find it. It was like one of those like shoddy like random website builders that's was free.
I would love to access it.
Yeah. So it was basically a fan page. So everyone else was making, I don't know, like a website about dinosaurs or a website about like presidents. And I'm over there making a fangirl page about the Jonas Brothers. So yeah, that was definitely my first. I'm obsessed with all three of these humans. I had every single CD. I would listen to everything. And I still, to this day, I think I know every single lyric to Jonas Brothers songs up until 2012, probably 2015. I don't know.
I have to ask who your favorite is or was.
So back in the day, it was Nick. And loved him dearly. And I remember there was this commercial on Disney Channel, or not commercial, but like a little video on Disney Channel that was talking about him having diabetes. And I literally thought he was going to die.
That is a meme these days where every girl talks about how they thought he was on his deathbed.
No, literally they made it seem like he was about to pass away, like sad music, like
in the arms of an angel.
Like literally everyone was like, oh my gosh, is he gonna be okay? And I remember like being so worried about him because I loved him so much. But yeah, so back in the day it was Nick. These days it's Joe. I think he's so funny.
We are the same in everything. I feel like mine was Nick for a real hot second. And then it was Joe. It's always been Joe for me. Joe girl through and
Joe,
through.
he's so funny. And even back in the day he was funny, but my heart went out to Nick. So
they drew you in with the diabetes story.
Yeah, the sob story. Then you're hooked. Exactly. Yeah, did you ever like the Jonas Brothers, or were you just like a little into them?
I did, but yeah, I wasn't fangirl. I never went to a concert. Yeah, in comparison to my other interest at the time, it didn't compete. I think I probably had like one picture of them on my wall, but the wall was mainly covered with other people, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
So love the Joe Bros.
Tell us your entrance into fangirldom.
Okay, let's get into it. Well, I wanted to first share the first time I remember having a celebrity crush and being very into the music of someone, which was Aaron Carter. He was so cute back in the day of his Aaron's Party CD. It has a US flag cover. I remember it like the back of my hand, and I loved that CD. And I think I was probably like first grade, like really young, and I obviously didn't have access to any music I wanted. Like I just had what CDs we had at our house, and I was always bumping that CD and always dancing to it. I Want Candy, a hit. Aaron's Party, Come and Get It. Know every single line to the rap in that. And I just thought he was so cute and fun. And so I distinctly remember always dancing to that CD. And it's so funny that I thought he was like so cute and had a crush, because I literally think I had the one photo that was on the CD. Or you know how CDs had like the pamphlet that came out and that like sometimes has the lyrics and stuff, like just the photos and that, like that's all I was going off of. But I remember just loving him. Which R.I.P. He had a really sad life, but I really enjoyed him. Yeah, I have some fond memories of dancing to those songs. And then I would say my next fangirl stage was my Taylor Swift era. No pun intended with the era. So Taylor Swift was very important to me for a couple of years. She's the reason why I asked for a guitar and learned to play guitar.
You can play guitar?
A little bit, girl. I know some chords.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you want me to play a little ditty?
Yeah.
And I got tickets to her concert for Christmas and cried when I opened it. Like, it was one of those. It was very special, which is just ironic now, and I feel like this is a shock to you because you know I'm not a fan whatsoever now. But I really was a Taylor girl during like the Fearless, Enchanted era. Like, I really didn't even venture into Red. It was like those few golden years where she was still like really young and kind of country. And
yeah, I'm like so surprised by this because you are not into her.
I'm
now.
not into her at all. Yeah.
Wow.
But I did love her. And I went to 2 concerts, actually. I
Oh,
went
wow.
to the Fearless concert. Like, I think it was her first tour in Wichita, which is where Rachel's from.
Oh my
I
gosh.
drove out there for that. And then I went to, I think the next album's Enchanted, right? Yeah. That tour was at Arrowhead Stadium, which is the NFL Chiefs stadium. And I was in the pit, Rachel. I was in the pit, could see her leg hairs, and I swear to you, the ticket was $250.
Wow.
Which is just wild to think about now, because this past year, she went to the same Arrowhead Stadium and played those shows, and I'm sure that pit tickets were like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I really got in that golden era. I should pull up a photo of that too, of me.
Yeah, we should try to compile all of the photos that we have of all of these different concerts.
Yeah, we really should.
That's crazy. I actually do really like that album, the Fearless one. Is that where she's like laying down and her curly hair is just like splayed around her?
That is, yes. Her hair is like flying up in that album, and it's like all gold kind of. She's in like a gold dress.
Was okay, was 15 on that album?
That's the iconic album.
I was never really into Taylor Swift, but I did love that album. She was just killing it during that era, and I listened to that on my little iPod Nano all the time.
Oh, for sure. I feel like this fangirl moment for me was still before the internet took over. So I really just remember listening to her songs so much. And again, like reading the little CD pamphlet that comes inside of the case, and wanting to go to her concert and like seeing her on award shows. But I don't remember watching like YouTube of her, or I don't know. I wasn't on social media, obviously. So
I don't know what era it's from, but her You Belong With Me music video was my favorite music video for years.
I know.
I will say, I think she kind of paved the way for like quality music videos that like tell a story.
Yeah, storytelling ones. Yeah.
Yeah, because like they had music videos where people were just like lip syncing and playing like instruments, but like hers always told a story. And the You Belong With Me one was like, I just loved it so much. She played the mean girl and herself, and it had that one guy that everyone thought was really cute.
Lucas Till.
Yep.
Yeah, from Hannah Montana movie. Yeah, so that was my Taylor Swift phase. It was only a couple years. And around probably the same time as when I was introduced to Justin Bieber. And I would say that's probably my biggest fangirl moment to date. That really was very integral to my life. I remember distinctly the day where my friend showed me the one-time music video on my parents' desktop computer.
Oh my
and
gosh.
that changed
that
the
was
trajectory of my
thing
life.
that brought you in, made you a
It
believer.
seriously was. It might have been 6th grade, 7th grade. I can't remember the exact time. I should look up when the one-time music video came out. But I imprinted on Justin in that moment. And I was obsessed for many, many years. And this fandom was the first one where I was watching so much YouTube. I feel like that's when I remember becoming a YouTube girl, because I was watching him on radio interviews. I was watching him busking on the street before he like was discovered by Scooter
you really were a
Braun.
believer. I also had Justin on my list, but I don't think I watched as much content as you did. Like maybe I just wasn't into YouTube back in the day, but I also am obsessed still to this day with Justin Bieber. Love him. I went to his concert in Kansas City, the one with
Cody Simpson?
Sean Kingston.
Oh, I was there too, girl.
You were there too?
Together. Yes. And
my
Ayaz came
gosh.
out as a special guest.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, we were there before we
That's
even
cute.
became
We
friends.
got to put our photos side by side.
Yes, I have them. They're on. I like stalked my friend who I went to the concert with on Facebook to find the photos, and
Oh my
it's
gosh,
so
cute.
funny. That's crazy that we were both there.
I know. Wow. But yeah, I was a big fangirl. I had him all over my walls. And yeah, I think that was my first entrance into YouTube in that way. Because I really just consumed all of his content. There's a video of him playing the guitar.
The guitar?
Like August Rush. Have you seen that movie, August Rush?
Yes. And he's like,
have you seen the video of Justin Bieber playing the guitar like that?
No.
Okay, well, that's your homework after this.
Oh my
But that's
gosh.
such an iconic video. Oh, there's so many. And I loved him. I went to that concert you discussed, and then I went to him, it must have been several years later, and Cody Simpson opened up for him. And I have since not been able to see him again. He really doesn't tour that often, and lots of times he will get worn out or have like a medical issue, and I feel like doesn't finish the
just
tour.
cancel it.
Which, like, no hate. Like, I could not do that either. But yeah, I feel like there hasn't been that many recent opportunities to see him. But like you said, I still love him through all of his random, chaotic things. Love him dearly. I think he is so talented musically.
He's so talented. Yeah.
And just continues to make banger after banger. And yeah, just think he's a sweet boy. So.
Did you hear he's coming out with a new album?
When and where and how can I get my hands on it?
I don't know. I just saw this thing on Instagram that was saying that he's making new music, and it's supposed to be apparently in the style of his Journals album,
which everyone is obsessed with. That's like his R&B time. If I were to say to you, oh, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, that's another thing we got to share on our socials. In the song, he goes, ow, ow. And in the video, he does kind of like a Michael Jackson groin thrust.
Oh.
And it's like such a memeable, iconic moment. He's like, ow, ow.
I need to see that immediately. That's amazing. I've seen Justin 3 times in concert, and most recently, I think it was 2022. He came to Dallas, and so good. He did a couple of stripped down versions of songs where it's just him on stage with a guitar, and just raw talent. So good. And then he also did the iconic Bieber stomp many times, which was very entertaining. No one does it like Justin.
No, really, no one can compare. And I feel like so significant for so many of us, like growing up, our childhood. But then he like is still so good and still creates such great music where he's not just having to sing Baby to be famous. Like, he has a whole discography of incredible music. What's another one you would like to share?
This one is a little obscure, but one summer we had my German cousin come visit us.
Oh, I know what's coming. Rachel recently told me a little bit about this a couple months ago, about this obsession she had, and it was maybe the most interesting thing I've ever heard about Rachel, so can't wait for you to share more.
It is so niche, and I don't think anybody listening to this will know what I'm talking about, but
There'll be someone.
Yeah, I have German family, and one summer, he's my 4th cousin, lives in Germany. He wanted to come to the US for a summer, so he came and stayed with us. And he was quite a bit older than me. I think I was like 11 or 12, and he was 16 or 17. And he was sharing all of his music with me, and there was one group that he told me about called Tokyo Hotel, and he gave me a CD of their music, and I became obsessed with them. And they are a German punk rock band, and I couldn't tell you a single song, like what it was about or the lyrics, because it was all in German.
It spoke to your soul.
But it spoke to me, something deep down inside. I was like, I resonate so deeply with this music as an 11-year-old listening to German punk rock. So I listened to that CD on repeat, and I became obsessed with them. And I think I had a few photos of the lead guitarist on my wall, which I told Lindsay yesterday. I Googled him because I was like, I wonder what they're up to now. He's married to Heidi Klum, so good for him.
Insane. What a plot twist. When Rachel showed me a photo so that I could get a visual on this group, I was stunned. Jaw on the floor.
They are like spiky hair up.
I don't know how that's
2 or 3
like
feet
physically
in the
possible
air.
to have hair going up in that pattern.
And staying up there. I don't
that's
know
insane.
how that guy did that. But again, so niche, so strange, but loved him.
How long did that last?
Oh, a couple years, I think. Again, I wasn't like, I didn't know every single fact about them, but I was like, I love their music. I was a little too young, I think, to be doing deep dives on the internet about these German punk rock musicians. But I listened to that CD all the time. And if that song ever comes on, which it never does, sometimes I put it on, I search for it to relive the memories. I really rock out to that one. It's called Durch den Monsoon, if you want to look it up.
Durch den Monsoon, let's go.
But the one that I would say solidified me as the ultimate fangirl is One Direction.
Amen.
I had never loved any group, person, musical act more than I loved One Direction. And that's when I really dove into like the YouTube, the videos, the interviews, the funny moments, and just really dove right in.
Yeah, I was also a One Direction girl. I feel like that was where Justin was like hardcore, like junior high. I feel like One Direction, maybe around our freshman or sophomore year.
I think it was,
that
freshman
was when
year.
That was.
Yeah.
And that was such a fun time too. And having 5 of them, and I think them being British was so fun and interesting for all of us, like American teens as well.
They kind of filled a hole in the market. Like there hadn't been like a huge boy band in, I feel like, a while.
Yeah.
There was NSYNC and Backstreet Boys like back in the 90s or whatever, but they filled that hole that we all desperately needed without knowing.
and I say this to people all the time. I think my lucky stars that I got to go to a One Direction concert when Zayn was in the group. Like I saw all
too.
5 of them. Like, and I feel the opposite about how I was not able to see BTS before the hiatus. Like that is heartbreaking.
That's tragic.
But I at least got to see One Direction because I don't think they will ever be coming together again. So that was so fun. That's still probably one of my favorite concerts ever.
Fun. I mean, when I tell you I have permanent ear damage from that concert, I'm not exaggerating. It was so loud. I saw them in Dallas. Where did you see them?
Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fun. Wait, who was your favorite?
I have so many theories about this in general to share, but I think if I have to choose, it's Zayn. Those sparkly eyes, the pipes of an angel.
His voice is incredible.
Gorgeous man who caught my eye. I also loved Louis. Underrated.
Okay, me too.
I love
Louis. He's so funny and chaotic.
Yes, and I really think he held the group together. Like he was necessary for the group, and everyone loved him. He had a great relationship with every single person, whereas I think some of the relationships
I feel like he always
like
lightened the mood.
Yes,
and
100%.
Yeah, he was kind of glue.
I loved him. And then I loved Harry, but I think everyone loved Harry, but not everyone could say that he was their favorite. So
yeah,
I feel like I would say Zayn was my favorite, but I knew Harry was destined for greatness.
Yeah. I would say Louis and Harry were my favorite, and I also really liked the dynamic that they had. I feel like they were a little bestie duo, and were always just being goofy and funny.
People ship them, and then
there's Larry.
Drama. Yeah, there's drama that then they like kind of try to separate because it like got to be too much, where people were shipping them so hard. But I love their dynamic as well.
Yeah, they were always kind of my 2 favorite, but I love them all. And then now, post One Direction, I also love Niall. I think he's adorable, and I love that he's like found his little niche and like kind of singer songwriter. He
finally is like come into his own,
and he just seems like he's having a great time. Like he's kind of killing it. Like he seems happy. So love that for Niall.
The next one I want to talk about of mine, I'm pretty sure you know nothing about. which is exciting.
Can't wait to hear.
So you can find out a new layer to me. This was in junior high. I became obsessed with watching the X Games and the athletes competing in the X Games. Are you familiar with the X Games?
Yes, it's like skateboarding and bikes and other cool sports, right?
Yes. Yeah. So like action sports. So specifically, I was very into the Winter X Games, which is snowboarding, skiing.
Are you about to talk about Shaun White?
No, because I don't like him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like. Sorry, Sean. Actually, I do love you, but in the grand scheme of the snowboarders, you're kind of at the bottom of my list.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
Which that's a whole other combo. We can start another. Anyways,
is he canceled? I don't even.
No, he's not canceled. He
okay.
was just not. Well, part of the reason why I was so drawn to the action sports community, like surfing, skating, I'm into watching all of those and know about a lot of the athletes within those sports, was the camaraderie and just the friendship and vibes and support they have within those communities. And Sean was just kind of an outsider who didn't seem to be friends with really anyone, and maybe was seen as a sellout in some senses because he was like a Target ambassador or just like kind of he just, which no hate to him, like he did his own thing. But I was more into kind of the smaller athletes, and I liked their friendships. And obviously with these action sports, you travel together to go do your sport. You know, people are going on surfing trips or skate trips to Madrid, or obviously there's only so many places you can snowboard a half pipe. So a lot of times they were doing it together, which was fun. So I still love watching winter sports, skateboarding, surfing, all of it. But there was a time period in junior high where I was addicted to these young men and addicted to watching the X Games. And a life goal is to go to the Winter X Games. I wanted to make it happen so bad. I was like looking up how long it would take to walk to Aspen. Like that was how desperate I was, which is so random because I don't even do winter sports. Like I have snowboarded twice. I've skied like once when I was in 6th grade. Like I'm not good at it, but I just really enjoy it. And
yeah, they're fun to watch.
Yeah. And I liked the athletes too and their vibes. And so that was definitely an addiction of mine for a while.
How did you like get into that? What was the initial thing that got you into watching?
I literally just randomly one time like saw it on the TV, like ESPN or something, and I thought it was incredible. Some of these people were like 12 years old and they were doing things with their body that should not physically be possible and like risking their lives, and I thought that was insane because I'm sitting there on my couch 12 years old eating popcorn and they're traveling the world like doing flippity flips, McTwists, 180s. Like how are they doing that? So I think it's one of those where it's something so distant from me, something so outside of my capabilities and lifestyle that it's so interesting. I mean, I think it's the same since I'm from Kansas. We don't have mountains and snow. We don't have the beach. There's not really places to skateboard. So it was just like something new and interesting to learn about. So I have since learned how to skate somewhat. I mean, I can stand on a board, but in my next life, I want to be a surfer, skater, snowboarder girl. That'd be my dream.
We got to move somewhere that has those things to do.
We really do. I would love to go on like a snow trip with you.
Yeah, I know. We haven't really done cold
We've discussed doing Japan.
Yes, I really want to go to the mountains of Japan and ski. Would be so fun.
I think we need to add that to our...
Add it to the list. The never-ending list.
Short-term goals. Yeah.
Another thing that I was obsessed with in, I think it was kind of middle school timeline, was Twilight. And the chokehold that those books and characters had on me is so real. And personally, I'm Team Jacob, which is
that is
kind
insane.
of an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, you are in the minority. Edward all the way.
Popular opinion, I know. And people think it's, super weird because of the whole, well, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read or
okay, it's been 20
this,
years. If you haven't watched it, we're going to spoil it. Sorry.
Okay, well, yeah, people think it's weird because he ends up with Bella's daughter, which totally is weird. I will say that. But take that out, and if we just look at the human, I guess they're not human. If we just look at the personalities of these two characters, Jacob is so much more of a vibe. Like, he's funny, he's laid back, he's adventurous, he does fun activities, he's like lighthearted and just like an all-around fun, cool guy that I would be friends with and want to hang out with. Edward is so boring. Like,
but I will say, Bella is none of those things you describe Jacob as.
No, that's true. See, that's where I need to clarify. I think Bella and Edward, yes, like they belong together. Jacob, for me, like
yeah, if you were choosing.
Yeah. If I'm basing my team Edward, team Jacob off of my personal preference. I'm like, yes, Jacob is a million times better. Also, he's like warm and cuddly. Edward's like cold and hard and like a million years old. Yeah. So
the million years old thing is something I can't get past. I think that's so bizarre that she's dating this old man who's lived through so much. It's weird.
That's strange. That is strange.
I, at my age, can't imagine dating a 16-year-old, so I don't know how he could do it.
No, it's really strange when you think about it.
Really insane.
Yeah.
Did you read the books before you saw the movie? Like, you already knew about the books before the movies came out?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I saw the first movie and then I was shook. I
good. You thought it was good or bad?
Yes, I thought it was so good.
Okay.
I thought the movie was so good. I had never seen anything like it, and then I like immediately ran and binged the books.
Okay, so you were movie first.
Yeah, I think my friends just
like,
like wanted to
the
go, and then after I had to read the books. So I think I saw the first movie and then read all the books before the next movie. But I had the first movie on DVD. And Rachel, I am not kidding you. When I watched that movie in my DVD player every day after school for a couple months.
I mean,
every single day.
Back in the day, I was like, this is Oscar worthy.
No, sometimes I would watch it. I don't know if they still do this, probably not, but on DVDs, they used to have like the director's cut or the director's commentary. So sometimes I would switch it up and I would watch the film where the director is giving like commentary.
Like throughout the whole movie,
he's like so. I think
commenting on stuff.
And like maybe there was like a BTS feature, how like the DVD would have like the menu and you had like, different features you could watch. Yeah. So I was addicted there for a couple months where I was watching it every day after school.
Wow, that is commitment.
Which in hindsight, that movie is absolute trash.
What?
Have you watched it recently?
Yes, I watch it every year. I watch it every fall along with Harry Potter.
We should watch it together.
I would love nothing more than watching that with you. New Moon's my favorite because there's more Jacob and less Edward.
Yeah.
So normally I watch Twilight and New Moon every fall. And I still love watching with people, and I always preface it with like, we're going to sit down and we're going to watch this, and you have to go into this thinking that this is a comedy. This is a comedy movie.
It's not a comedy.
You can't take it seriously because if you sit down being like, I'm expecting, this dramatic, serious love story, like, you're not going to enjoy it. You have to go in being like, I'm going to laugh at some of the things that are said, how it's shot, the blue tint, and it's going to be so enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I went under the lens of it's a comedy, I would definitely see it differently. But if you're looking at it as a serious film, it's insane. But when I was 12, I thought it was everything and more. The best cinematic experience one could have.
I mean, yeah, I remember being shook walking out of the movie after watching Twilight. I was like, that was so incredible.
Groundbreaking. I miss those moments in time.
I know. I miss going to like midnight premieres and the hype around new movies. And
did you go to the Justin Bieber or One Direction premieres, like for their movies?
No, I didn't.
No, I definitely was in that
Did you?
midnight showing. Yeah, I remember my friends and I went, and we thought it was gonna be like packed. There was 3 other people there, and we knew them all because they were like girls from our school.
The first time that I went to a concert movie was with you, I think, in Guatemala.
Oh, yeah.
Lindsay and I went to Suga's concert movie, and it was so fun. And there was like so many other people there singing along. And
yeah, but I remember the One Direction. What was their movie called? While We're Young? Something like that. And then Bieber's was Believe. Those were different. They definitely had concert in them, but I just remember it being a lot more BTS and like interviews and stuff. Where the Suga one maybe didn't
versus
have
a pure
as much.
concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to 1D and Justin for putting those out way back in the day. Because now I feel like everyone does
they kind of
those.
pioneered the concert movie.
Yeah. And they were so good. My most recent addiction that happened in my adulthood was Formula One racing. This took place and all began during COVID 2020. I was sitting at home doing some crafts and I needed something to watch. And I think I just randomly selected Drive to Survive, which is a documentary series that takes you through a Formula One racing season. And it was an immediate yes for me. There's so much to love about it. It's so interesting. I think similar to how I said I really liked snowboarding, surfing, skateboarding, because it's so different from anything I've been exposed to or been able to do. And the people are so different and I could just learn so much. I think it was similar with Formula One, where I had no idea what car racing was. I had only pictured NASCAR and thought it was a waste of gas and money, which I kind of still do in a lot of ways. Yeah. But Formula One was very interesting because it is a very rich sport. There's a lot of money, prestige behind it. There's a lot of famous people involved. There's a lot of car brands that you know of, like Ferrari, Aston Martin, things of that nature. And there's a lot of just like politics and interesting dynamics behind the scenes that take place that make for a great TV show, first of all, and really pull you in. And there's also only 20 athletes in the sport. So,
whoa, I didn't know that.
That's less than some K-pop groups.
Wow.
So you can know every single person, and everyone has a teammate. So there's 10 teams, 2 people on each team. It's such interesting dynamics.
Wow.
And yeah, there's only 10 teams to know about. Whereas in the NFL, there's like a bajillion teams that you would have to learn about. So I loved the show and loved a lot of the personalities on it, specifically Daniel Ricciardo, who is an Australian racing driver. And Rachel, you would love him. He is our personality type. Like, he is just so fun and hilarious. And the sport is kind of serious, and a lot of the drivers are really boring. And he brought in this whole new audience of people. I think specifically from the show, where everyone fell in love with him and wanted to support him. So I have encouraged Rachel to watch the show. I think you will at some point in your life. But
I will for sure. I haven't committed to fully diving in yet because I know it will consume me entirely for several weeks probably. So yeah. I want to get into it, and I will. Like, I know I will, but it's just a matter of timing when I know I don't have something going on where I can be like, okay, I'm devoting this time to becoming obsessed with this, because I know that I will once I start learning about it and watch the show.
It is a time suck. Especially because it was COVID, I wasn't going out to do anything. I was going through so many YouTube rabbit holes. They make excellent content. Formula One is very good at making funny and entertaining content.
Love that.
So there's never, it's ever going. And that's super enjoyable. And I was waking up, Rachel, at 4 a.m. to watch the races.
Whoa, what? You were committed.
Like, I was just like interested. I don't even know. Yeah. It's kind of crazy to think about because the races are all over the world. That's another thing I love about it. Very global sport. There's not even an American driver in the sport right now.
Wow. So there's only 20 spots.
Everywhere.
So they all have to compete to be one of the 20.
Yes.
Wow.
It's very competitive. And there's like minor leagues that they work up to. And some people get booted out that really should still be able to have a chance. But there's so many politics and trades and things that go on. That's so crazy. Interesting.
It's like a whole other world. Like, I'm gonna have to learn all new vocabulary.
There's so many funny personalities in the sport too, and I don't have really anyone to fangirl about Formula One with, which is sad.
So you need me to get into it as soon as possible.
Exactly. So we can chit chat about it. But that's been another fun fandom to be a part of, and I would say it was super, super strong that first year, and I still am super into it and keep up and love the meme accounts and such, but I'm not like waking up to watch races or anything. But it's something I love, and I think something that's growing in the US thanks to the Netflix show of popularity, where more people know about it. Because I lived in Austin, Texas for a couple years, and I had no idea that there was a Formula One race every year in Austin, or I would have gone. Like, that would be so fun.
We should try to go.
We should add that to
it to the list.
Add it to the list of all the things that we're going to do when we find the time and money. So, yeah, that's one of my more mature fandoms, I would say, that occurred during adulthood.
Yeah, and I feel like so many people love F1. Like, I feel like people are always posting about it and talking about it, and it does seem like such a fun group to be a part of. So I will do my homework, and we can do a full deep dive later.
Yes. And you know what I want to do, I think I've expressed this to you, is to read all of the Harry Potter books.
Yes.
So we can feed into each other's interests.
Wait, we could do it together.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
Do like a little book club.
Yeah. Okay. Great idea. I love that. We hope you enjoyed listening to some of these and can relate to some of them. I feel like a lot of these were prime time of our generation, where girls were just going crazy.
Absolutely nuts.
Absolutely nuts.
Twilight.
Like the videos of like people hitting the car door windows and like screaming, like, wow, what a time to be alive. That was really something. And in the next episode, we will get to our K-pop fangirl tendencies and the groups that we stan and how we came to know and love them. We originally were going to do that in this episode too, but turns out we love too many things. We have too many obsessions and too much to say.
Yes, but yeah, all of these people and groups and things like definitely primed and prepped us for our love of K-pop. So we're really excited to dive into all of the groups that we love on the next episode. On that note, we will go ahead and wrap up this episode with our ending ment, which, as we explained last time, is what K-pop groups say at the end of their concerts. It's a little speech to wrap things up and say goodbye. So I think last week we had talked about what ment actually meant and like where it came from. And I was like, oh, did it come from sentiment? But no.
Which makes sense to me. I definitely thought it meant sentiment, but according to my Google search, it's actually from commentary.
Makes sense.
Just shortening that. So it's like a commentary or a message, but it definitely is sentimental. So that makes sense as well. All of the above. So for my ment, I would just like to say again, thanks for listening and giving us a space. Well, we created our own space, I guess, to talk about things that we love and obsess over. It's so fun. And it makes me kind of want to dive back into some of these past obsessions I had as well.
Yes, I know. I'm like, I will be listening to some One Direction after this.
Exactly. And so excited to share about our K-pop groups that we love and are fans of too. And it's just really fun to look back on where we came from, and that some people have the fangirl gene and some don't. Like, it just, it is what it is. And I have, from birth, have had this gene where I become obsessed with things and I love things. Like, if I watch a movie, I come home, I'm watching the behind the scenes, I'm on everyone's Wikipedia page, I'm watching the press interviews about the movie from the actors.
Every interview. I must know every bit of information about every person in this.
Yes, I have a desire for knowledge. I never stop. I read everyone's Wikipedia. I need to know every fact. So it's just fun that you and I found each other and are making this podcast so that we can do just that.
Creating a space to fangirl.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we're so glad that you're here. And like Lindsay said, we can't wait to dive into all of our K-pop groups that we love next time. So make sure to check us out on social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, on podcasts. We are Kpop Light Pod, KPOPLITEPOD. So make sure to like, subscribe, and stay by our side.
And remember, fangirl responsibly.